Well, folks, good evening to you, one and all, and welcome to the final round of Sports and GT Masters and Grandmasters. And this is probably going to be something completely different this evening, if you ask me. We're down at MISANO, and I think it's going to be a total race of attrition. It's going to be a case of who can keep the car on the island in real terms, because the Audi four-wheel drive around MISANO is not going to be an easy car whatsoever. Out on circuit, we have the likes of Peter van der Spey, Leon van Wyk, Johan Ferree, Leonardo Beccari, Sandro Beccari, Gerald Ferree, Timothy Stanton, Graham Stephen, Michael Stephen. Oh, a deft combination that's going to be. And then Mr. Luke Lucchese, who is in the pits. So, predictions. Johan Ferree, you can never count him out. Timothy Stanton, doing very well in the practice sessions, putting up some very quick times. Graham Stephen and Michael Stephen, well, omnipotent combination that. Not all. Michael Stephen goes to the top of the log. Can you believe it? Look at that one, and a blistering place there by Michael Stephen as well. So for those of you that have just arrived, good evening to you. Sports and GT round number 12, season number 12, MISANO in the Audi 90 GTO. Now I must admit, this is a car that before this week started, I had never driven yet, and I had the opportunity to go and practice with the guys on Monday night, and man, what a car this is. Four-wheel drive, tons of power. You can stick it sideways and burn up a whole bunch of rubber very, very easy, but it doesn't go fast when you start to slide it around. You can slide it around under braking quite fine, but when it gets to coming on the gas, you've got to pretty much point and press. But you can steer the car with the accelerator as well. And this is where the driving skill is going to come into it. Michael Stephen, let's see whereabouts he is out on the circuit right now. Michael Stephen works his way around. Let's see, can he go even? Oh, that was a lovely lot. Look at that four-wheel drift as he comes to 133.892. Can he go quicker than that? 133.580. Michael Stephen stamps his authority on this one. Johan Ferree, can he go any quicker at this stage of the fight? He's got the hammer down. He's running it very, very hard. Graham Stephen provisionally on the second row of the grid, and that by literally thousandths of a second between them. Nothing much whatsoever. Leon van Wyk just off that second row of the grid by 0.8 of a second. It's actually 0.7 in real terms if you look at the 3 places after the comma. Peter van der Spey leading out for the Grandmasters ahead of Sandro Beccari, Leonardo Beccari, and Johan Engelbrecht. Johan Engelbrecht's about to put up a time. Did he get a clean lap in? Will it count for him? Yes, it does. Johan Engelbrecht pops up on a 138.17, so he finds himself a little bit off Peter van der Spey. Peter van der Spey and Sandro Beccari, first and second in the Grandmasters. Nothing much between them whatsoever. Now that you saw there with Johan Engelbrecht, that is a major problem with this Audi. It feels like it's a pocket rocket when you climb on the gas, but it doesn't want to slow itself down. There doesn't seem to be massive retardation with the settings on the brakes the way that it is, and it's not even like it washes the front end away, but you've actually got to be very early on the brakes and get it to start its rotation nice and early, and then use the accelerator to complete the corner like that. There you can see he gets the apex of the corner, that he gets it to do that last part of the turn, and he's already on the gas at that point. So Michael Stephen doing yet another lap. Johan Ferrari is on his way out of the pits. He'll have enough time. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 minutes. Yep, he will be able to do a out lap and a one flyer. So you must just make sure that it does not go off the circuit at all. Make sure that he is right there and thereabouts. Michael Stephen doing a brilliant job in the 191. Michael Stephen's got the fastest lap time as he works his way around now for yet another lap. We'll just wait for Michael Stephen to complete his flying lap, and then we'll have a chat with him once he has completed, as he works his way through the last corner. It's all about Michael Stephen. That is the fastest man out there so far, 133.580. Can he get any further forward than that? A 133.580. That is still the quickest man out there right now. Doing a brilliant job, Michael Stephen. Even Johan Ferrari does not have an answer. 6/10 in it at this point. Can Johan Ferrari do what he does best? Uber quick in qualifying. Johan Ferrari, is it going to be... Oh, wait, hold on a second. He's just finished the flying lap. Sorry, the out lap. He's now on the qualifier. He's going to have one shot at this. He might actually be able to get a second lap in, but it's going to be very fine. On a 133.580, I think it's only going to be one lap that he's going to be able to get in. So it's all or nothing for Johan Ferrari on this lap, and I think we must stay with him. Luke Lucchese has now gone out on circuit as well. So Luke Lucchese just doing a bit of a warm-up. He's got his favorite color scheme on there, the number 24 with the Mobo colors. That in the Audi 90 GTO. Johan Ferrari's given up. Johan Ferrari said, nope, that lap's not going to work. He's taken it back to the pits. Graham Stephen coming through. Can he get himself up onto the front row of the grid? He's looking for 2/10. Nope, a 147, so he must have had it off somewhere along the line there. Timothy Stanton, where is he? Here comes Timothy Stanton to put in one last gasp effort to get onto the front row of the grid. He needs 4/10. 4/10 quicker is what he requires. And I don't think he's going to have enough time to put in another lap. It's a 1 minute 33. He had literally a minute and a half in the bag when he came across the start-finish line. So I don't believe that Timothy Stanton is going to be able to complete yet another flyer. Gerald Ferrari rounding out the third row of the grid is Gerald Ferrari. Oh, look at that. Beautiful piece of driving as he came through there, putting it in a very smooth four-wheel drift. Michael Stevens still out on circuit, but 7/10 is the gap that he's got on everybody else. Oh, what a masterful driver. So into the pits goes Michael Stephen. Michael Stephen, good evening to you. And I think it was an amazing qualifying that you just had there. Did you expect to be 7/10 ahead of everybody else?
Good evening, Gary. Definitely not, but certainly does help getting a bit of practice in.
Oh, definitely, no doubt about it. I see we've got a bit of an echo on the sound system. I'm not too sure why we're picking up that echo, but I must say it's going to be interesting to see how this one's going to play itself out. Let's have a look at that grid as it comes up now. Michael Stephen and Johan Fourie on the front row of the grid. Then it's Graham Stephen and Leon van Wyk that bedeck the second row. Timothy Stanton and Gerald Fourie. Sandro Bakari's got himself marginally ahead of Peter van der Spey. Luke Lukizi, they just did 1 or 2 laps ahead there of Johan Engelbrecht and then Leonardo Bakari. 11 competitors that's going to be out there on the grid. Let's have a look, see how that looks. So Johan Fourie and Michael Stephen bedeck the front row of that grid. For those of you that have joined us late, there's your race information. Sports and GT round 12, season number 12 from MISANO, and we're coming to you in the Audi 90 GTO. And if I've got it correct, Luke Lukizi, if you can just confirm with us, it's going to be a standing start.
No, it's rolling.
Rolling start. Oh, well, there we go. Well, it was a 50-50 that I'd get that one correct. And then again, have a close look. There is the pace car that's out there. Peter van der Spey, good evening to you. Finding yourself alongside Sandro Bakari. And not much in it in terms of lap times between you and Sandro.
No, not at all. And, I've got all my Grandmaster guns around me at the moment. So this is going to be very interesting.
And then
it's going to be a case of keeping this thing on the track.
In terms of the championship between yourself and Johan Engelbrecht, are you leading going into this one?
I am leading going into this, so I could lose it tonight. I've got to stay ahead. So I'm leading at the moment.
So it's all systems go. All right, guys, we're going to go off the Discord to give the guys an opportunity to concentrate on what they're going to be doing out there. It's going to be all-out war. Peter van der Spey going 1-on-1 with Johan Engelbrecht. I think in terms of the amount of practice that Peter van der Spey has had as opposed to that of Johan Engelbrecht, I think the cards must be somewhat stacked in the hands of Peter van der Spey. But then again, it's all over when the lights go off. And then when the flag comes down, that's when it comes to an end. Until then, anything is possible. Let's in fact go on board with Mr. Peter van der Spey as they come up towards the line. That's what it looks like when you're sitting in the pack. That's Sandro Bakari on his right-hand side. Climbs on the gas as they go down towards turn number 1. He's right up against the wall. Is Peter van der Spey. Up on the inside comes Luke Lukizi. That's the 24 car, and looks like we've lost 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 different cars in that one. It's Michael Stephen that leads them out. He's got a gap already from Johan Fourie. Johan Fourie, Sandro Bakari's got it through. Oh, sideways. Completely sideways. Sandro Bakari, Gerald Fourie. That is the way that one's going to play itself out. There comes Gerald Fourie. Then Johan Engelbrecht has made his way through. That is an amazing piece of driving. Johan Engelbrecht ahead of Peter van der Spey. That is exactly what he wanted, needed and desired. In there behind him is Timothy Stanton. Then it's Leonardo Bakari. Behind that is Leon van Wyk. Luke Lukizi that came off the back end of the pack, but he was obviously involved with one of those incidents earlier on. In fact, let's go and have a look at exactly how that one did happen. The first man that was involved there was in fact Graham Stephen. Let's have a look on board with Graham Stephen. Yep, just coming in from the side, and I do believe that was probably Timothy Stanton. No, Timothy Stanton that was behind him. Timothy Stanton comes in, all looks good and nowhere to go. That Ruttman's Audi directly in front of him. Leon van Wyk that finds himself pretty much at the back of the pack after that incident. Leon van Wyk on that outside line sees the incident happen, and the back end just gets away from him, and it ends up pointing in the wrong direction. He's got to turn it all the way around before he can get that one going again. Now Luke Lukizi had an incident just after that. just a little bit too hard and too late on the brakes. Turns himself around, gets whacked by the 164 of a Leonardo Beccari, and by the time he got sideways there. By the time he got going with that one, it took him a long way back. So it's Michael Steven, it's Johan Fourie, it's Sandro Beccari who's going one-on-one with Gerald Fourie. Gerald Fourie on a major fight back here. Gerald Fourie pops up on that inside line. I think Sandro Beccari thinks, let's rather let him go. Let's rather use his slipstream and not fight it, because with that, Sandro Beccari has got a bit of a gap. Oopsie, that was an error by Sandro Beccari, and he does the gentleman thing. He backs out of it, lets Gerald Fourie go, and then gets restarted again. And Sandro Beccari doing the thorough gentlemanly thing there cost him exactly what he was trying to get away from, and that was Peter van der Spey. So Sandro Beccari doing the gentlemanly maneuver, and now he's got it all to do, because in front of him is Sandro Beccari, behind him is Johan Engelbrecht. That is the three riders that are first, second and third in the Grand Masters class. Peter van der Spey from Johan Engelbrecht, from Sandro Beccari, only because of the fact that Sandro Beccari has not driven all of the rounds in this year. He was doing a bit of traveling. Johan Engelbrecht alongside Leon van Wyk. Looks like Leon van Wyk has made up that position. It was Leonardo Beccari in the background that went a little bit wide. It's Luke Lekisi that's made up yet another position. Can he sweep around the outside? Oh no, he gets tipped on the tail end there, and that knocks him even further down. So Luke Lekisi is going to have to restart his campaign to get to the front end of the field. It just hasn't worked for him at all. See, Timothy Stanton was involved with the incident, and now he came back out of the pits after that. Let's see what happened to Gerald Fourie. Got to go 3 gears down and turn it in. And at the back end gets away from him. I know what that one feels like. It's exactly what happened to me. Let's see, Sandro Beccari on the incident that he had. Sandro Beccari sticks the nose in, touches up against Gerald Fourie in the 11 car, backs right out of it, battles to get it down the gears, and in that, you'll see coming past on his left hand side was then Peter van der Spey that made up that position. So it's all about that man that leads up front. Michael Steven and Johan Fourie started first and second. They are still in first and second. Gerald Fourie started in fifth up to third. Starting in eighth position and up to fourth is Peter van der Spey. So it's worked brilliantly so far for Peter van der Spey. For once he's been left alone to drive his own race and not get knocked back and smashed around. And it's worked out pretty well for Peter van der Spey, because he is now ahead of his biggest rival, Sandro Beccari. And then also slightly further back is Johan Engelbrecht, the man that was leading the championship up until the beginning of last week, Wednesday night. Johan Engelbrecht, so he'll be pushing hard. Graham Steven has actually gone 4 positions down, so it hasn't worked out very well so far for Graham Steven. Let's just see if we can have a look at what happened to Graham Steven. Yeah, it was that initial corner incident that affected him like that, and then it just got away. Whole pack goes through. Also battling to get the gears. You don't get this car to gear down very quickly, very easily. It's almost like it's got a delay. Look how long it takes to build up. Battling there to get the gears. Now he gets it going, gets that turbo to kick in, and gets it back off the line. So that is where Graham Steven lost massive amounts of ground. Michael Steven from Johan Fourie. There comes Gerald Fourie, Peter van der Spey, Sandro Beccari. In there behind him is Leon van Wyk. There is Graham Steven. Behind that will probably be, it's Johan Engelbrecht. Then Luke Lekisi, the next man that's coming through. So with all the incidents that Luke's been involved with, he's going to have to ride the socks off this motor car. 5 of the 16 laps, 7 of the 25 minutes. Let's have a look at who has been in and out of the pits. It's only Timothy Stanton that's been in and out of the pits as Leon van Wyk goes past Sandro Bakari. Peter van der Spey also goes past Sandro Bakari, so Sandro Bakari must have had an off. Sandro Bakari, oh, they make contact once again, and that is Gerald Ferree that was involved with that one. Let's see, Sandro Bakari. Gerald Ferree tried to come around the outside and ended up making contact. See, they're battling to get it into gear again. Johan Engelbrecht trying to get through there. Johan Engelbrecht does get through. Sandro Bakari doing the gentlemanly thing a second time and not then going past at all, and that has cost him very dearly, because that is a release Peter van der Spey out at the front end of the field. Look at this battle. Awesome stuff. Peter van der Spey with Leon van Wyk directly in there behind him. Peter van der Spey's battle is not in fact with Leon van Wyk, it's with the man directly behind him, which is Johan Engelbrecht. Peter opens the door up, says, Leon, you keep on trucking. I don't want to drop that 7.3 second gap which I've got on Johan Engelbrecht. Now, Peter van der Spey, by rights, all he needs to do is try and hold on to the back of Leon van Wyk. If he can do that, follow the lines, see if he can pick up a little bit of slipstream, and like that, he can then hold out the likes of Johan Engelbrecht. Look, the Kizzy has just made the passing maneuver on Johan Engelbrecht. Let's see how that one played out. Got up on that outside line, did Luke the Kizzy, late on the brakes, plays with the accelerator and makes up the difference, and that is how he managed to make up the gap there. Sandro Bakari's got himself in quite a fight right now. Sandro Bakari is sitting behind Johan Engelbrecht. Johan Engelbrecht that wants to have no part of the fight with Sandro Bakari. He's interested in the man that's getting away up front, who's leading the Grand Masters Championship, that being Peter van der Spey. Johan Engelbrecht goes into the pits. Sandro Bakari goes through. Johan Engelbrecht is into the pits. There you can see slow, long pit lane. Leonardo Bakari is going to come past him as well. There comes Leonardo Bakari. The other man that has been in and out of the pits already is in fact Timothy Stanton. Here comes Timothy Stanton now. So if Timothy Stanton goes past the exit of the pits before Johan Engelbrecht comes out, there's Johan Engelbrecht on the left hand side. That makes Timothy Stanton the lead car of those that have been in and out of the pits. Here comes Johan Engelbrecht now. It's a long pit lane, limited to 60 kilometers an hour. Look how slow and tedious it comes there, and there's nothing that you can do. It's in the rev limiter, on the pit limiter should I say, not the rev limiter. Look at that, how it pops and splutters. Now only does it kick the power in, and Johan Engelbrecht gets back out on track, and that's just about 17 seconds behind Timothy Stanton. Let's go back to the front end of the field. It is Michael Steven. There comes Johan Ferree. 12 seconds further back, here comes Gerald Ferree. Even with all the incidents Gerald Ferree's been involved with, he still finds himself in a very good third position. So a beautiful drive so far by him. There comes Leon van Wyk. Remember we said Peter van der Spey must try and hold on to him. Peter van der Spey playing nice and safe, because remember, Peter van der Spey has got a gap back to Graham. Then there's Luke, and only then is Sandro Bakari. So right now, Peter van der Spey is looking very good, leading the Grand Masters. And leading the championship right now going into this one. Luke Lukizi has got himself 1.6 seconds behind Graham Stephen. Well, you don't catch Graham Stephen very easily, but then again, there's not a lot of people that can stay ahead of the likes of Luke Lukizi. Let's have a look at the last lap times that they did. Luke Lukizi a 34.6 and Graham Stephen also a 34.6 on the last lap. But I do believe that they did encounter a bit of traffic on the last lap, so that's not really a perfect indication. Let's see when they finish the following lap how that one plays itself out. Look at Michael Stephen. The last lap of 133.496. What's he going to put in this time around? A 133.8. Johan Ferry on a 34.2. Can he go any quicker? A 134.120. Definitely a quicker lap there by Johan Ferry. As into the pits comes Gerald Ferry and Leon van Wyk comes in as well. What does Peter van der Spy decide to do? Does Peter van der Spy come through? Yes, he does. Peter van der Spy comes through. Graham Stephen, he's going to come straight through. Look at the keys, he's going to come straight through as well. Luke Lukizi in the 24 car, 1.6 seconds still behind Graham Stevens. Not going to catch him very easily. In fact, Graham Stevens was a smidgen quicker than Luke Lukizi on the last round. It's Peter van der Spy that's ahead of them, 2.5 seconds ahead. Luke Lukizi locks up that right-hand front. He's pushing it as hard as he can. Gerald Verrees in the pits. Leon van Wyk is going to be coming out. Gerald Verrees on his way out as well. And Timothy Stanton, where is Timothy Stanton? There comes Timothy Stanton. Where is Gerald Verrees? Look at that. It doesn't get any closer. Milliseconds of the folks that have been in and out of the pits. Timothy Stanton just ahead of Gerald Verrees. But will that be enough for Michael Stephen and Johan Verrees? I think not. Michael Stephen has already now come into the pits. Johan Verrees is going to mirror that. What does Peter van der Spy do? Is Peter van der Spy going to go straight through? We'll see now what he decides. Peter van der Spy's got open ground in front of him with Johan Verrees in the pits. Depending on where Johan Verrees comes out. Is he going to go into pits as well? Yes, he does. Peter van der Spy goes in. Graham Stephen follows him in. Graham Stephen late and hard on the brakes. Closes up on Peter van der Spy. And Peter van der Spy was playing safe coming in there. And that was where the turnaround came. Because that number one car of Graham Stephen was quicker going up to the deciding line where you have to be on the pit limiter inside the times. So Michael Stephen is out on circuit and leading. Johan Verrees has closed on the back of him. Timothy Stanton comes through. He'll be onto that third position, the leading car of those that have been in and out of the pits. Gerald Verrees is in there directly behind him. Not far behind that is Leon van Wyk. That could become a three-way battle. It's not impossible. Here comes out of the pits. Luke Lukizi has got himself ahead of Graham Stephen. Wow, there comes Peter van der Spy. And his nearest competition, there he is. Johan Engelbrecht, the man that's second on the championship. There's the man that's third on the championship in the Grand Masters. And then there comes Leonardo, the man that's fourth overall on the Grand Masters Championship. See, Luke Lukizi was involved in another incident. Let's see what actually happened. This is as he comes out of the pit lane. You'll see the mark on the ground. There's where the power kicks in. Comes flying out of the pits. Well, that all looked quite fine. The computer showed it as an incident. I don't see any incidents there. That looks like an amazing piece of driving to me. That four-wheel drive getting the power down nice and neatly as we go back to the live. That is Leonardo Bakari that's bringing up the tail end of the field. 16 minutes 43 into it. The man that's leading out is in fact Michael Stephen, but there has been an incident. Let's see what happened to Graham Stephen. Oh, this is what it was. Graham Stephen was trying to get past Luke Lukizi. Climbs on the gas, gets away. Wow, look at the acceleration of that Audi. Well, for some other reason, the computer's showing that as an incident, and it was not, in fact, an incident. This is looking from the back from Peter van der Spey. You'll see they will just blast away once they get off the pit limiter. Peter van der Spey, nice and smooth, works his way out of the pit lane. Michael Stevens got a lot of work to do because Johan Fourie is onto him. Johan Fourie is onto Michael Steven. He's going to have to really concentrate. Michael Steven, you got the direct attentions there of Johan Fourie right behind you. Are you pacing yourself, or is it all systems go to keep Johan Fourie behind you?
I just had a bad pit stop, that's all. That's okay.
So you think you've got enough pace to hold him out at this stage with the amount of... Oh, Johan Fourie, we're riding on board with Johan Fourie. And Michael, you would have now seen in your mirror, you now have a bit of breathing space between yourself and Johan Fourie.
Yeah, just keeping it consistent. So anyway, I'll make mistakes. I'm not going to make a mistake.
There we go. I like that positive way of thinking. So, the man that we're driving on board with is in fact Johan Fourie. The man that's up front, Michael Stevens, saying, I will not be making any mistakes. I'm not going to give it away. There is only 6 more minutes to go. And Johan Fourie, with that little error, has lost an immense amount of ground. Riding on board with Gerald Fourie, he's within a second of Timothy Stanton. Timothy Stanton has done a lot of practice with this car on this MISANO circuit, and it's worked out very well for him because right now he's holding on to that 3rd position and he's putting in some very quick times. His last one was a 134.35 for Timothy Stanton, which is a very, very good lap time. You don't get those kind of lap times very easily. Timothy Stanton holding out on a Gerald Fourie. Let's just wait till he gets out into the straight. Timothy Stanton, great race so far. Gerald Fourie all over your back bumper. You confident for the last 5 minutes?
He's not on our channel.
Oh dear. Oh, he was there on the channel and he's moved away from it, so he is just concentrating. He's Timothy Stanton. Gerald Fourie is right in there behind him. Gerald Fourie putting the pressure on. Well, let's have a chat with Gerald Fourie. In fact, Gerald Fourie putting the pressure there on Timothy Stanton. And are you just matching his pace, or are you trying to put the pressure on him?
No, I'm just holding on and learning, to be honest.
A very different type of car as to everything else we've driven so far this season.
Yeah, it is definitely very, very different. The car has a whole new driving technique, which I'm not familiar with. But from following him, I've gained 6 tenths on lap time. So, definitely learning.
Awesome stuff. All right, let's leave the drivers to concentrate on what they are doing best, and let's go back to the front end of the field. There we go. It's Michael Steven coming out into the front main. Then it is Johan Fourie. The two of them have up, dusted, and disappeared away from the rest of the pack. 18 seconds, in fact, that they have taken out of Timothy Stanton in the 77. And there behind him is Gerald Fourie. Still around about the same size gap to Leon van Wyk. Leon van Wyk trying everything in the Being IT Audi to try and catch up to those two in front of him. Graham Stephen, after the knocks, bangs and bumps that he's had to endure finds himself still ahead of Luke Lukisi. And remember, he was behind Luke Lukisi when they came out of the pit lane. He managed to now get himself past Luke Lukisi. And, well, it was actually a bit of an incident because Graham Stephen went up on the inside of Luke Lukisi. Then Luke Lukisi fought back. Oh, look at that four-wheel drift. And then it was once again Graham Stephen that passed Luke Lukisi to then hold on to that one. So it was a pass, a repass, and then yet another pass. And from there on out, Graham Stephen has started to pull slowly but surely away from Luke Lukisi. Peter van der Spey, the man that's leading the Grand Masters, finds himself with a realistic, very decent gap from Sandro Bakari in the Jägermeister 172 Audi. Lovely spray job on that motor car. He is also ahead of Johan Engelbrecht in the 200. Deep into that corner, forces it under braking to start to rotate, then turns tighter on the steering wheel, climbs on the loud pedal, and that four-wheel drive rotates that car and brings it back to where he wants it. But there is less than 2 minutes to go. Where is Michael Stephen on the circuit? Looks like he's going to have to do another lap after this one because he's 23 minutes, 24 seconds into it. He's going to go across the start-finish line, get the white flag. Leonardo Bakari moves to the side. Michael Stephen ahead of Johan Fourie. They've now got 17 seconds on the rest of the pack. The two of them pretty much in a class of their own. You'll come up on the inside of Leonardo. Fully packed grandstands there. Coming around that last couple of corners. Out onto the front main. And now he's going to get that white flag. There's the white flag. It's all about Michael Stephen. Must make no mistakes. He's got a 4.6 second gap on Johan Fourie. That should be more than enough. And then Johan Fourie still got Leonardo Bakari between himself and the lead man as well. Timothy Stanton in that third position ahead of Gerald Fourie. There you see the white flags that's waving. Leon van Wyk has not been able to catch up to the two of them. Graham Stephen, the next man that comes into view, broke away initially from Luke Lukisi, but wasn't able to get then in the last 2.5 laps any further away. The next man coming through there leading the Grand Masters is Peter van der Spey, that ahead of 12 seconds ahead of Sandro Bakari, who's then 3 seconds ahead of Johan Engelbrecht. But on his last lap is Michael Stephen. He'll be super duper chuffed with this one. Michael Stephen riding on board with Michael Stephen. Michael Stephen, take us through a onboard commentary as you come up towards the line to win race number 1. Well done to Michael Stephen. He'll be super duper chuffed with that one. The next man is going to come through is going to be Johan Fourie. Johan Fourie comes across the line and then 16 seconds ahead of that man in the 77 car. That is a Timothy Stanton that's going to come through in that third position. I think you'll be pretty happy with that one. I mean, to be beaten by Michael Stephen and Johan Fourie is nothing to be ashamed of whatsoever. Brilliant recovery. Gerald Fourie staying ahead there of Leon van Wyk. Graham Stephen, massive recovery. Luke Lukisi, also massive recovery and extending his lead. He's just got 2 more corners, 1 more corner. And Peter van der Spey will bring it across the line. And not only does he beat out on Sandro Bakari, but he's got Sander Bakari between himself and Johan Engelbrecht, which is even more important for him, because for Peter van der Spey to win out from Sander Bakari and then Johan Engelbrecht gives Peter a little bit more leeway in race number 2 to hold on to that initiative that he's got. Leonardo was lapped, so he has come across the line already as well. So let's get those results for you as soon as that becomes available, as we go into a 3-minute warm-up. So there you are, overall results, and what a race that was. I tell you what, everything was done 100% correctly there by Michael Steven. Michael Steven, you must be super chuffed with that one. Not an easy car to drive, and pushed all night long there in race number 1 by Johan Fourie. Unfortunately, not getting a response there from Michael Steven. Michael Steven beating out on Johan Fourie by 5.4 seconds. That is a significant gap between the two of them, and that's a brilliant drive. I've got to give driver of race number 1 to Michael Steven, because even though Timothy Stanton did come up trumps after lots of practice, Gerald Fourie on a massive comeback, super solid run there by Leon van Wyk. Graham Stephen fighting his way back. Luke Lekisi, numerous incidents, fighting his way back. Peter van der Spey keeping his nose clean when everybody else had problems. He did it all nice and smooth, and comes up trumps ahead of Sander Bakari, Johan Engelbrecht, and Leonardo Bakari. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with you with heat number 2. Right, folks, let's have a look at that inverted grid. It's going to be Leonardo Bakari and Johan Engelbrecht on the front row of the grid. Sander Bakari and Peter van der Spey, all 4 of the Grand Masters, are at the front. The first of the big hitters being Luke Lekisi and Graham Stephen, from Leon van Wyk and Gerald Fourie. Timothy Stanton, Johan Fourie, and Michael Steven going to be coming off the back end of the pack. So that is going to be an interesting run down towards turn number 1. That's how they stand on the grid. Just about good to go. Everybody has clicked in. Leonardo Bakari, Johan Engelbrecht on the front row of the grid. On that second row, Peter van der Spey and Sander Bakari. On the third row, Luke Lekisi in the Momo, red and yellow. Leon van Wyk in the white car on the 4th row. On the inside, in behind him there, the green and grey, that's Timothy Stanton. Oopsie. That I think was Johan Fourie that got it completely sideways. He'll recover the back end of the pack. Timothy Stanton finds himself now right at the back. So he'll just blow around and pop up in front of them. Here we go. Leonardo Bacari gets the hammer down. He doesn't even wait for the lights to change. Now the lights change, and diving out is Graham Stephen. He's going to go right around up against the barrier, and to the front goes Graham Stephen. Leon van Wyk finds himself in a sandwich. It's Johan Engelbrecht that tips out Leonardo Bacari. Leonardo Bacari comes back. It is Michael Stephen that has gone off, and it's Gerald Fourie and Timothy Stanton at the back end of the pack. So it's all systems go up front for Graham Stephen. Johan Engelbrecht in there behind him is Luke the Keezy. Behind Luke the Keezy is Leonardo Bacari. Then it's Sander Bacari. Then it's Johan Fourie. Then it's Leon van Wyk. Everybody comes piling in, and it's Leon van Wyk that made contact there with Johan Engelbrecht. They take Leonardo Bacari with them as well. Leonardo had no part of that. He just got collected, and that took him right out of it. Johan Engelbrecht has got Luke Lekeezy ahead of him. He's got Peter van der Spey in there behind him. Sander Bacari behind Peter van der Spey. Look at that gaggle behind that. Johan Fourie leads out the pack with Michael Stephen. Then it's Timothy Stanton that's looking towards that inside line, and it's Gerald Fourie that follows them through. Timothy Stanton runs it wide, and Gerald Fourie gets good drive out of the apex of that corner. It's Michael Stephen that's changing lines, trying to see if he can get some form of advantage as that pack works its way through. It's of that grouping. Sander Bacari very close to the back end of Peter van der Spey. The fastest man out there was the man up front. That is Graham Stephen. Johan Engelbrecht from Peter van der Spey from Sander Bacari. Oh, Peter van der Spey goes slower. Peter van der Spey all of a sudden slowed down and let Sander Bacari come through. It's almost like he was battling to get gears. You could see the way it was popping and spluttering. I wonder if... let's just see that one. Look at that. There's just no drive. He just rides straight around the outside of him. Maybe he was just battling to get gears at that point, and that was the deciding factor. So Sander Bacari right in there with the Johan Engelbrecht. That's Johan Fourie that's having a look on Michael Stephen. Johan Fourie on the inside line, Michael Stephen on the outside line. They'll make sure that they don't make contact. I think that Michael Stephen did get better drive coming out of the corner, and that is what made the difference. Michael Stephen, master blaster in this Audi, getting the power down just a little bit better than everybody else. Peter van der Spey in that battle. Did he battle to find gears, or did he lift off and let Sandra go, knowing that he can let Johan go, let Sandra go, just follow them in that third position in class and end up with the top points? Johan Engelbrecht's under a lot of pressure. Peter van der Spey comes up on the inside. They three abreast. Peter van der Spey has to hold on to the brake pedal for a long time to make sure that he doesn't make contact. But a lovely piece of driving there by Peter van der Spey. Oh, now he gets nibbled. And, well, there was just too many cars trying to come past there. Leon van Wyk and Gerald Fourie both trying to get past. So Peter van der Spey losing out a little bit with that one. Let's go back to the front end of the field. It's Graham Stephen that leads out. Graham Stephen has always got himself completely sideways. And here comes Luke Lekeezy. Oh, he dives across. Man, that was so close. Graham Stephen, then he runs it wide. He's trying just a little bit too hard, and Luke Lekeezy goes to the front. Luke Lukisi ahead of Graham Stevens. 6 seconds further back is that next battle. It's Johan Engelbrecht. It's then Johan Fourie. It's Sandro McCordy. Look at this. This is brilliant stuff. It's Michael Stephen. Then it's Gerald Fourie. Sandro McCordy and Michael Stephen going side by side. And who's going to come out tops with that one? Sandro McCordy. Sandro McCordy holds on to that one. He's got Gerald Fourie in there behind him. And it's Battle Royal Michael Stephen. And it is... you can't even predict who's going to come out tops. Johan Fourie's managed to break away a little bit. Two of the guys deciding not going to get stuck in this one. It's Johan Engelbrecht and Gerald Fourie that get out of the traffic. So it's Michael Stephen, it's Sandro McCordy, it's Leon van Wyk, it's Peter van der Spey that lost out a bit of ground with doing the gentlemanly thing and then losing out in the long run. Oopsie, there's a bit of a sideways, and is that Sandro McCordy? I think it was Sandro McCordy that got it all very, very mixed up. Cook sister arms. Sandro McCordy will be talking a little bit of French underneath the visor. Michael Stephen in there behind Johan Fourie. Omnipotent Michael Stephen in this motor car, and Graham Stephen. Johan Fourie not having it all his own way. Look in the background. There you see Leon van Wyk, and behind that was Peter van der Spey. If these two touch or slow one another down whatsoever, Leon van Wyk will become part of a three-way battle. Bit of a gap coming through there behind them. Oh, even closer. Michael Stephen on Johan Fourie. Michael Stephen obviously enjoys this motor car. Very comfortably puts it into a bit of a four-wheel drift. Spinning the wheels up slightly under acceleration. Johan Fourie decides to dive into the pits now. Michael Stephen's got to put in a stonker of a lap. Will Michael Stephen put up a lap that is quick enough to be able to go into the pits and come out in front of Johan Fourie? He's going to have to try and judge this lap before he comes to the end of the lap. Johan Fourie is still in the pits. Johan Fourie is still standing still in the pits. There he pulls away now. Will he come out ahead of Timothy Stanton? There comes Timothy Stanton. Is Johan Fourie going to be ahead of Timothy Stanton? I do think so. Oh, such a long drive to come through there. Look how long that takes. And here comes Timothy Stanton. What about Johan Fourie? He's still not past that cone yet. Where's Timothy Stanton? There comes Timothy Stanton. I think Johan Fourie is going to make it. Johan Fourie is going to make it. Johan Fourie is going to be ahead of Timothy Stanton, who is ahead of Gerald Fourie, and they have all been in and out of the pits. Now, Luke Lukisi has worked his way to the front end of the pack. Let's have a look at the last lap time that was put up. A 134 for Michael Stephen, a 33.812. That is very, very quick. Luke Lukisi's got no reason to go in. He's got 4 seconds between himself, and there you see Johan Engelbrecht that's directly in front of him. So there's no reason for Luke Lukisi to go in yet. He is leading the race, although it's only 1.4 from Graham Stephen. Then Brothers Royal, second of the Stevens boys, Michael. Then it is Leon van Wyk is the next one coming through. Then the lead car of the master of the Grand Masters, that be Captain Peter van der Spey. Behind him, Sandro McCordy. 11 seconds back comes Leonardo McCordy. And I think Johan Engelbrecht is just about out of this one. He's 42 seconds further back. And there comes the leading man that's been in and out of the pits. Johan Fourie has got a fair size gap on Timothy Stanton. Timothy Stanton's got the close attentions of Gerald Fourie. Let's ride on board with Gerald Fourie as he works his way through turn number 4. Let's just listen to that turbo In the low revs, there's no power whatsoever. It's like the olden days RD 350s. When the power band kicks in, it's massive. You've really got to hold on to that motor car when that power band climbs in. Gerald Ferry, effectively third overall out on circuit of the people that have been in and out of the pits. He's going for a good exit line here. Definitely made up a little bit of ground on that one. Gerald Ferry on Timothy Stanton. 7/10 of a second. A 1:34.1 by Luke Lekezy. He's flying. Graham Stephen on a 35.4. A 33.4. Michael Stephen. Fastest man out there. Personal best and the fastest lap of this race so far is Michael Stephen. Keep that in mind. 3 seconds. Michael Stephen off Graham. 3 seconds, Michael Stephen off Graham. How long will it take for him to catch up? They're 10 minutes into this one. They haven't done their pit stops yet either. 7 of the 16 laps. Coming through to complete yet another lap. As we ride on board with Gerald Ferry trying to track down the ever-improving Timothy Stanton. Made up a lot of ground there, but when you climb on these cars, it's like a Formula 1 car. The acceleration is massive. You think you've made it up under braking, but the person in front of you climbs on the gas just a smidgen before you do, and they just blow away in front of you, and what you thought was bumper to bumper, all of a sudden that is what you see. There's this big gap between the two of you. Gerald Ferry from Timothy Stanton. Johan Ferry, I think he's got this one pretty much in the bag. He's got a 6-second gap on Timothy Stanton. And unless something goes wrong for Johan Ferry, I foresee him taking this one. Let's see where it will be when Luke Lekezy comes into the pits. Leon van Wyk has decided to go into the pits. Let's see how it feels sitting in that pit lane. Sandro Bakari comes past him. Now you stand and you wait. And you wait. And you wait. Look at that. Can't wait to get it into gear and get it off the line. Barely do you get it going. Gets to 3,500 RPM. And now you've got to wait all the way down that pit lane. Have a look for the cone on the right hand side. When he gets to that cone, all of a sudden, bang on the button and the power comes back. Try and make sure that you don't make any kind of contact with anybody and get it back into the rhythm as quick as what you possibly can. So the man up front, Luke Lekezy, doing a lovely job is Luke Lekezy, a man that does a lot of international racing as well. Obviously knows this car pretty well. There's Graham Stephen. Now Michael Stephen was on a blinder on the previous lap. And remember, he was 3 seconds off Graham. Well, he hasn't been able to close that. Graham's been doing a brilliant job. Graham Stephen has held the gap between himself and Michael. Here comes Peter van der Spey, first in the Grandmasters and a 4th overall. That ahead of Sandro Bakari in the Jägermeister car. And Johan Ferry 20 odd seconds behind that. But remember, Johan Ferry has been in and out of the pits already. Just slides it in there under braking. Johan Ferry looking very, very solid at this stage of the fight. Well, it's all going to be revealed when that man, Luke Lekezy, goes in and out of the pits. That's when we're going to be able to see what the difference is between Johan Ferry that has been in and out and Luke Lekezy that has not been into the pits yet. Will he come in? It's almost the middle of the race. We're into 14 minutes. Another 11 minutes to go after this. We keep an eye on Luke Lekezy, 3.4 ahead of Graham. Michael has made up 7/10 on Graham. Into the pits goes Luke Lucchese. What is Graham Stephen going to do? Graham Stephen goes in as well. What about Michael Stephen? Michael Stephen dives in as well. Oh, came in there so hot. What about Peter van der Spey? Is Peter going to go into the pit lane as well? He decides, you go, I go. What about Sandro Bakari? Also diving into the pit. So Luke Lucchese is in, Graham Stephen is in, Michael Stephen is in, Peter van der Spey, Sandro Bakari. Where is Johan Fourie? I think that it's going to be Luke Lucchese that's coming out of the pits. Johan Fourie has been in and out. Where is Johan Fourie? He's only coming out into the front main. Luke Lucchese, I think he's going to take the lead. There is Graham Stephen behind him. There's Michael Stephen behind that. And there comes Johan Fourie. Is it going to be Luke Lucchese? Yes, it will. It'll be Luke Lucchese. There comes Graham Stephen. There's Johan Fourie and Michael's up on the inside. Who's going to be the winner of that? It's going to be Michael ahead of Johan Fourie. Johan Fourie fights back. They rub back and front bumper. Johan Fourie's on the attack. Johan Fourie's going to go for the inside line on Michael Stephen. Can he come up on that inside? I think Michael Stephen's got enough pace. Michael Stephen's going to hold on to that one. You saw Leon van Wyk in the background as well. Johan Fourie, pressure on the back of Michael Stephen. Graham's going to be thinking, well, you two keep one another busy. It gives me an opportunity to have some open road. Can concentrate on what I'm doing and maybe even close down on Luke Lucchese. 4.1 seconds between Graham Stephen and Luke Lucchese, the car that just went out of picture now. Remember that, 4.1. That's going to be the deciding factor. Luke Lucchese to Graham Stephen. Nothing much between Graham Stephen and Michael Stephen. Michael getting a little bit of a gap from Johan Fourie, who's driving that car very hard. Oh, what a beautiful line in there. Michael Stephen into that last corner. Just opens up another 0.2 of a second just to make that one stick. So everybody has been in and out of the pits. Just for interest's sake, let's see what's the average time, the pit lane time. 54, 54, 54, 51. Johan Fourie got it right. He was notably the quickest man in and out of the pits. Oh, talking about Johan Fourie. Loses it just a little. There's Leon van Wyk in the background. So Johan Fourie did make up time in the pit stop. Almost 3 seconds, in fact, that he did make up. That little error brings Leon van Wyk just a little bit closer. Another battle behind that. Gerald Fourie from Timothy Stanton. I think Timothy will be a bit disappointed with this because he did put up a fair amount of practice Monday night and Tuesday night. But then again, Luke, Graham, Michael, Johan, Leon and Gerald, I mean, to be beaten by any of those people, the best of the best of the best. Sandro Bakari has gotten ahead of Peter van der Spey. Sandro Bakari did have an incident. Let's see. But once again, it looks like it's coming out of the pits. So it shows crashed. But in real terms, you'll probably find nothing actually happened. There's Sandro Bakari coming out of the pits. And everything quite fine. So although the computer registered that there was an incident, there was not in fact an incident. And we saw same and similar earlier on in race number 1, where also we thought that there had been some form of incident, and there in fact was not an incident at all. And it looks like Peter van der Spey also having a bit of a situation. Let's see, that was Johan Fourie. Nice and easy on the gas, get it back on the black stuff, straighten it all up and get the hammer down again. But that was what made the gap between Johan Fourie and Graham Stephen, and that is 3.6. So he lost about 3 seconds in that endeavor. 6 more minutes to go. Luke Lucchese leading out from Michael Stephen. Graham Stephen, Johan Fourie, Leon van Wyck's closing on Johan Fourie, Gerald Fourie, and Timothy Stanton. That is all your masters. Timothy Stanton has a look up on the inside line. Nothing much between them. I think Timothy Stanton's going to make that one stick. Timed that one perfectly. Lined it up awesomely. Will he be able? Oh, now he's taking the defensive line. I think he realized his entry there was incorrect. So he goes on the defensive. Does Timothy Stanton. But he did make the move on Gerald Fourie. And he did make it stick as well. Gerald Fourie very smooth, taking a slightly broader entry and exit, but carrying good speed through there. 33.5 for Michael Stephen. Oh, he's just so quick around the island. In fact, Michael and Graham. The fastest lap for Luke Lakisi was a 1:34.1. For Michael Stephen, a 33.4. For Graham Stephen, a 34.34. So Michael Stephen out and out the fastest man, and that by 0.6 of a second in terms of the fastest lap that has been done by each driver. Look easy from Michael, Graham, Johan, Leon, Timothy, and Gerald Fourie. That is how close they are. Nobody's really been able to make a plane to updust and disappear. Sandro Bakari with a 6-second gap on the next man, Peter van der Spey. You just saw Sandro disappearing out of the right-hand top corner as we down to just over 3.5 minutes still to go. Peter van der Spey from Leonardo Bakari, 20 seconds further back. And Johan Engelbrecht, well, if Sandro Bakari comes out tops in class and Johan Engelbrecht comes up fourth in class, is that enough for Sandro Bakari to wipe out that second place for Johan Engelbrecht? I don't think so. I think Johan Engelbrecht has done enough during the course of the season with consistency to probably end up with that second position overall in the Grand Masters. Look, Lakisi not getting away from Michael and Graham and Johan. And Leon starting to have some fun out there with 3 minutes to go. And then that other battle that we've been watching, Timothy Stanton from Gerald Fourie. Probably going to find they're going to go for another lap and a half. As they're on 22.5 minutes now. Where do we find Luke Lakisi? Still 2.5 minutes to go. So with this, he will probably get the white flag. Probably the white flag. Will it be? No, I don't see the white flags coming out there. So he's got 2 more laps to go. Has Luke Lakisi. This one and one more for Luke Lakisi. Holding out on Michael Stephen, who's got a slightly bigger gap now to Graham, who's holding sway against Johan and Leon. It's actually become quite static now. I don't think, barring somebody going off, these are not going to change. Timothy Stanton from Gerald Fourie. I think Gerald Fourie will be utterly astounded that he is the last of the masters out there. He's normally one of the quickest, but it hasn't worked out for him this time around. Peter van der Spey starting to close down on Sandro Bakari. There's his target. Well, we saw it momentarily. There it is. Sandro will know. All I got to do is don't make a mistake. Just keep it nice and smooth. Keep on trucking. Do exactly what I've done up until now. And it will be mine. Well, at least the race victory, if nothing else. Sandro having missed out on a couple of the races, but he's looking good and solid. As we go back to our lead car, he's now got the white flag. Luke Lekese, he's just lapped Johan Engelbrecht. Johan Engelbrecht will stay right out of the way, exactly like that for Michael Steven. You'll say, Michael, you go. I'm not going to get involved in your fight. He's through. Oh, look, Lekese's under pressure. Look, Lekese's under pressure. If he starts locking up inside front wheels, then you know he is being pushed to the limit. Luke Lekese from Michael Steven for that first and second. Luke Lekese doesn't easily make mistakes. He's accustomed to doing international racing, is Luke Lekese. And also the man that put together Season 12 for us. And Season 11, in fact. And yes, we will be having a Season 13 starting towards the end of January 2025. As we keep a close eye on Luke Lekese, that's been chased down big time by Michael Steven. Michael Steven coming to within a half a second. Literally a four-wheel lock-up under braking there as he drifts it into the corner. 7/10 is the closest he can come to Luke Lekese. And Luke Lekese will come across the line to take the win. Luke Lekese from Michael Steven. From Graham Steven. Then it's Johan Fourie. Leon van Wyk that is able to stay ahead there of Timothy Stanton and Gerald Fourie. And then the next man that's going to be coming through, Peter van der Spey, also being pressurized just like Michael Steven put the pressure on Luke Lekese. So Sandro Bakari all the way to the line, putting the pressure on Captain Peter van der Spey. Peter van der Spey loving it, takes it away there ahead of Sandro Bakari. It means that Peter van der Spey unofficially will be the Grandmaster champion. Leonardo Bakari, the last man coming through. Johan Engelbrecht was lapped. And he brings the 164 Italian colors. Leonardo comes across the line. And with that, he will complete that race. So let's have a look at the feature race in terms of the Masters. Let's just bring that up for you again. So, Luke Lekese wins out race number 2 from Michael Steven, Graham Steven, Johan Fourie, Leon van Wyk, Timothy Stanton, and Gerald Fourie. Wow, driver out of that lot. Well, if you look at it, I think on a 33.44, Michael Steven, the fastest man, the fastest lap. I think a brilliant drive by Michael Steven. I think I'll give that second race to Michael Steven. That was a really class act that he put in there. And then let's have a look at the Grandmasters. Peter van der Spey from Sandro Bakari. So 2 wins for Peter van der Spey on the day. He did say before we started this evening that he is in fact leading out slightly from Johan Engelbrecht. So that would then make Peter van der Spey unofficially the Grandmaster champion. And then it's a toss-up between Johan Engelbrecht and Sandro Bakari. I do think Johan Engelbrecht will have scored enough points overall to stay ahead of Sandro, who, as we said, and Leonardo, has missed out on a couple of the rounds this year. Well, folks, that wraps it up from us. A big, big thank you to you one and all for joining us for this season as a whole. Season number 12, that was round number 12 in the Audi 90 GTO from MISANO. We look forward to having you all back here with us next season. Probably the last week in January is when we'll go live with Sports and GT Masters and Grandmasters. Can you believe it? Season number 13. From our side, Gary Fleming on behalf of Second Gear Productions, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next season. Cheers, everybody.